So you want to know how to deal with negative thoughts. You're sick and tired of negative thoughts constantly taking over your mind because your mood is simply going lower and lower and you are becoming increasingly anxious as a result. Hi everybody, and in this video I'm going to share with you how to deal with negative thoughts. If you don't know me by now, my name is Stephen Boylan. I'm an author, motivational speaker, client acquisition specialist and psychotherapist, and I'm also the founder of Natural. First of all, in this video, what I'd like to do now is just give you a quick recap on what I shared with you in the last video. So in the last video, I shared with you how I got stuck in a negative trap of L for almost 12 years. Misusing drugs, misusing alcohol, and struggling excessively with depression and anxiety. And how one thing finally helped me to deal with all them problems once and for all. And that one thing is cognitive behavioural therapy. Cognitive behavioural therapy is identified and recommended as a first choice treatment by the NHS here in the UK. And it's been responsible for helping millions of people to deal with depression and anxiety all over the world and many other problems too. And it's also been responsible for me personally helping thousands of people over the past 8 years to deal with depression, anxiety and lots of other problems too. Cognitive behavioural therapy is based on the science that particular life events that happen to us and that happen to you impact on the way that you think or what you believe, the impact on your behaviour, the things that you do or the things that you don't do, and they directly impact on the way that you feel emotionally and physiologically. And many people, because of particular life events like the loss of a loved one, the loss of a job, the breakdown of a relationship, end up getting stuck in a negative trap of L. And they get stuck in a negative trap of L because they have negative thoughts. They are doing things that are negative and that maintain depression, that maintain anxiety, and that keep people stuck, feeling down, depressed, anxious, and struggling with physiological problems like sleep problems, increased weight, decreased weight, and lack of energy, lots of other problems too. And it's absolutely essential if you want to be able to deal with anxiety and depression, or either one, that you know exactly how to deal with negative thoughts, because negative thoughts and negative beliefs maintain depression and anxiety. And like I said in the last video, what I'm going to do now is share with you how to deal with negative thoughts. I said I was going to share with you one of the most effective ways to deal with negative thoughts, but I'm going to go above and beyond. I'm going to share with you 2 effective strategies for dealing with negative thoughts. It's really important, first of all, that you understand that there are lots of different types of negative thinking that people do. And there are probably lots of different types of negative thinking that you do. And so, first of all, I'd like to cover a few types of negative thinking or negative styles of thinking that people do. So the first negative style of thinking is what is referred to as rumination. And this is where you constantly think about the past and you constantly dwell on it. And therefore, as a result, your mood goes lower and lower and lower. So that is what we call rumination. The second style of negative thinking is where you have negative thoughts about yourself. So you're constantly thinking, I'm a failure, I never get anything right, I'm unlovable. These are lots of negative thoughts where you would be thinking about yourself. The third style of negative thinking is where you worry about others or the world or situations, and you're constantly worrying about them or thinking negatively about them situations. And then the final one which I'm going to cover how to deal with, is where you worry. You worry about the future. What if this? What if that? You're constantly thinking that something is going to go wrong. And this maintains high levels of anxiety. And therefore, in this video, I'm going to share with you one of the best ways, first of all, how to deal with negative worrying thoughts. And then I'm going to share with you another one that really supports the first strategy in dealing with negative worrying thoughts. So this first intervention is what I call set worry time. So it is exactly what it says on the tin. You need to set your own dedicated worry time where you worry with a purpose. So you actually worry with a purpose. So what do I mean by this? Well, what I've done is I've created a little activity pack. It's below this video. You can download it and you can use it to engage in this very first activity. So below this video, click the button, you'll be able to download it. Or if you can't download it for any reason, simply grab yourself a pen and a piece of paper and you will be able to fully engage in this activity. So you set, first of all, a dedicated time to worry during the day. During each day, instead of constantly having worries pop in and out throughout the day, and you simply create lots of anxiety for you, you need to set a dedicated worry time where you worry with a purpose. So that time can be anything between 15 and 20 minutes. So you set that dedicated time, and then you grab your pen, you grab a piece of paper, and you answer the following 4 questions that I'm going to go through with you now. This is what I call the 4 W's. Before I go through these questions, you need to start to look at your worries as problems. You need to try and turn your worry into a problem. Rather than thinking of it as a worry, think of it as a problem, because to every problem there are solutions if you think hard enough. So you need to turn your worries into a problem. Okay, so now that you're thinking of your worries as a problem, I'm going to go through each of these questions. And I'm going to go through them at a little bit faster so you don't have to watch this video forever. You can pause them and then answer. Pause the video, answer each question as we go along. So the first question is, what is the problem that you're struggling with? Technically, / what is the worry? So what is the problem? So you write the answer down to that question. Question number 2. What are your solutions to dealing with and resolving that problem / worry? So this is where you brainstorm as many ideas as you can in finding solutions to dealing with that problem / worry. You list them down on the piece of paper. The third question is based on you basically evaluate each solution based on the pros and cons. So what are the pros and cons of each solution? The third question, what are the pros and cons of each solution? So pros, benefits, cons, weaknesses, whatever you want to call it, you have to evaluate each solution based on the pros and cons. And then the last question is, what is the best solution for you based on the pros and cons that you've just evaluated? So let's say solution A has 10 pros and 2 cons, and solution B has 5 pros but 15 cons. Well, logically speaking, solution B is the worst one and solution A is the better one. So then you would pick solution A to resolve that worry. So that is how you worry with a purpose, or that is the first part of worrying with a purpose. So this next activity, like I said, it supports the first activity. So this is what I call goal setting. So now that you've got your best solution, you need to answer the following 4 questions again to set your goal to deal with that worry. Or basically, you need to get that solution, whichever the best solution was, and then you need to answer these next questions now. So question number 1, what is the goal? So your goal is basically the solution, which was the best solution from the previous activity. So you write in that goal. The next question is what action steps. You need to break this goal down into as small as steps as you can and as many steps as you need to. Break it down as small as you can. Each step will add up and it will get you to your goal. So think, what steps do you need to take? What action steps do you need to take to resolve and achieve that goal? That's the second question. The third question is what obstacles might get in the way of you achieving that goal? So looking in a little bit into the future, what might get in the way? Might it be finances? Might it be other people? Might it be particular work, your work? What might get in the way of you achieving the goal? Think of them different steps that you've listed. What might get in the way of you achieving them steps? Because ultimately you need to take them steps to achieve the goal. And then the final question in this one is, what can you do to resolve them obstacles that could get in the way of you achieving your goal? What could you do to resolve them obstacles? And you write that down. So now that you've completed that first exercise and the second exercise, you will have a plan now of how to deal with the worry that you had. So in that dedicated time of 15 to 20 minutes, you just think of the one problem and you worry with a purpose, going through each of them 2 activities. Activity 1 is where you find the best solution. Activity 2 is where you set that solution as a goal. And ultimately, then you have got to take action. You've got to work towards achieving that goal and resolving technically that worry and that problem. Therefore, you will be able to reduce the amount of time that you're worrying, and you will be able to reduce the levels of anxiety that worrying creates for you. Like I pointed out though, towards the beginning of this video, there are lots and different styles of thinking negatively, which maintain anxiety and depression. Obviously, I've not had the time to be able to go through all of the different interventions to deal with them different styles and different ways of thinking negatively, but I've got a brand new course, a brand new program, which I'm going to be releasing very soon, where I go in depth into dealing with all of the different styles of thinking negatively and lots of different ways to tackle them different ways of thinking negatively, so you can reduce the levels of anxiety and you can deal with anxiety quickly and easily. However, it isn't enough just to tackle and deal with negative thinking to be able to deal with depression and anxiety, or just anxiety if that's all you're struggling with, or just depression if that's all you're struggling with. You need to identify what behaviours that you're doing, the things that you're doing or the things that you're not doing that maintain your anxiety. And these behaviours generally form under the term of what I call safety-seeking behaviours. So safety-seeking behaviours are things that you do to keep yourself safe, to seek safety, and to basically reduce the levels of anxiety that you're feeling. And when you reduce the levels of anxiety by doing these things, you feel better. Therefore, you continue to do them things, and therefore what they do is they maintain and keep the anxiety going. In the short term, they make you feel safe, but in the long term, they maintain anxiety problems. And therefore it's absolutely essential that you know more about safety seeking behaviours and you know what to do to deal with safety seeking behaviours. And one of the biggest safety seeking behaviours I'm going to cover in the next video in this 3-part video series. I'm going to share with you how to deal with the biggest safety seeking behaviour that really maintains and keeps most anxiety problems going. So it's absolutely essential that you look out for the next video in this 3-part video series, because I'm going to share with you how to deal with safety seeking behaviours so that you can start to break that negative trap of depression and anxiety. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Tell me what you thought about the intervention, the strategies that I've shared with you in this video in terms of dealing with worrying negative thoughts. Thank you for watching it. Don't forget to comment below, tell me what you thought, and I look forward to sharing with you in the next video very, very soon. Thank you and goodbye.